Hi there, my name is Tim Michael. I'm the owner of Knife Maker Training, and welcome to our video here on YouTube as well as knifemakertraining.com. One of our free series where we take you on a walkthrough of Ed's complete shop. This is over an hour-long video, so we're going to cut it down to a few pieces for you, and I hope that you enjoy them. If you see it get cut off in a weird spot, I apologize. It's probably the best I could find in the amount of time that I want to give you per video. I don't want to overload you with a full 1 hour long video. Would like to cut it into pieces so that way you can enjoy learning a little bit about each part of Ed's shops. I hope that you enjoy this, and just to let you know, Ed Caffrey is an ABS mastersmith, and he is incredibly gifted with many years of experience in the industry. He's been selling knives for many years and is definitely desired by many other people interested in getting his training. He's had training for a long time that he does at his shop, but we've opened up something new with knifemakertraining.com where you can go there and now you can buy his guides online as well as some of the tools that he is selling that would definitely come in handy for you. You can check all that out at knifemakertraining.com. We're going to get you into the first video. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching.
But why am I not outside with you guys? Well, I don't get it. I don't have a thumb to open the door. Hi everybody, welcome to knifemakertraining.com. I'm Ed Caffrey, ABS Mastersmith, and we're going to do a little video here, take you for probably a fairly in-depth shop tour. We're standing in front of what I call my finish shop. This is a 24 by 24 double car garage. Behind me, the big steel building, that is my hot shop slash blacksmith shop. I have to attribute that to my wonderful wife. During my last tour of duty in the Middle East, we were emailing back and forth, and she had asked me about retiring, and up to that point, I had never considered retiring from the Air Force. She also asked me if I was going to attempt to be a full-time knife maker, and I said, well, yeah, I'd like to. And by the time I got home from that tour of duty, she had already sourced everything for this shop. And so kudos to my wonderful missus who supports me, loves me no matter how dumb or stupid I am. And, you know, I'm living the dream, folks. So anyway, we'll start in the finish shop, head in the door, and I'll just take you all around the shop, show you the tools I use, tell you a little bit about them. If you have questions on anything, feel free to contact us. Look up my email, Facebook page, lots of ways to find me. So anyway, let's head into the finish shop. Hi boys, how's my pups? How's my pups? And I guess what we'll do is we'll start out right here. As soon as you walk in my door. Yes, I know, I understand, Boomer. I understand, totally. As soon as you walk in my door, we've got my grinders. What? You guys, we're not playing. Go, go, out, blade. Boomer, out, 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 out. Go, 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 go. They just want to be in the gig too. But anyway, we're at my grinders. This particular grinder I use probably 99% of the time for my profiling. It's the one grinder that I use a work rest on. 10-inch wheel from Sunray Corporation. This particular grinder was one that I built slash modified from the EERF, or free spelled backwards, plans. It's all water jetted parts bolted together. This is my Kmg Grinder. Some of you may have read some posts I made in the past, particularly about these little doodobber hydraulic cylinder thingies. I had issues with them when I tried them in the past simply because the rod was exposed, and within just a very short time, steel dust, grit, whatever would get in there, and they'd blow the seals out. And in my case, I don't think I ever had one last longer than a month. And it dawned on me, well, why don't you just put some protection on them? And engineering being the mother of invention, or necessity, these are just pieces of fingers of nitrile gloves that I cut out and zip tied over as guards. And actually, these things are lasting really well now that I can keep the dust out of them. Probably the most important thing I can tell you about the Kmg Grinder is just last year, I converted it to a direct drive. Prior to that, when you buy one of these, it'll come up with a pulley shaft, and you'll have to mount a motor to a V-belt. What I found with that was I was getting a lot of slippage, a lot of things like that. Direct drive, my gosh, what a beast. And for more on this, we've got a video on knifemakertraining.com about grinders, accessories, things like that, so feel free to take a look at that video. Up here, I've got my monitor for my security cameras, and before you guys get this idea that I'm paranoid about black helicopters and that sort of thing, there's a story behind why these are here. One, I had a friend give me the camera systems. Two, most of the time when I'm working here at the grinding station, I've got a respirator on, I've got earplugs in, and when I'm grinding, the only thing that exists in my world is that 2 inches of belt. Long story short, I had a friend sling the door open one day and yell, "Hey Ed, what's going on?" And I crammed my knuckles into a brand new 50 grit belt. So this just gives me a little bit more, I can catch the movement out of the peripheral vision, and I can see who's coming and when. Okay, moving along. While most people will tell you to keep the buffer away from the grinding area, honestly, I just don't have any place else to put it. This particular buffer, I've got another buffer in the shop. This is a Jet 1 horsepower. The reason I decided to go with this is because I like the long shafts. It allows me to work in and get in things. You can see all the projects laying around here, respirators right there, tools and all kinds of other odds and ends stuff. And if you can't tell, I'm a big college basketball fan. So, and honestly, that's pretty much the only sport that Ed watches. Growing up a Hoosier, get the correlation? Basketball, Hoosier. Okay, enough said about that. There is something I want to tell you about buffers. For those of you who have followed me on the forums and things like that, this is without a doubt the most dangerous piece of equipment in the shop. This thing will kill you before you can blink. I won't mention a name, but just a year ago, I had a knife maker friend on the East Coast who was killed by one of these. He actually was buffing on a blade, or the best we can tell, he was buffing on a blade, and he was buffing on, this is what they call a loose buffing wheel. The buffing wheel caught the blade late. The best they can figure was he was dead for about 6 hours before his wife found him. But she came in the shop after she came home from work. He was laying on the floor, and the knife blade had gone in just above his hip bone and had lodged in his left shoulder, taking everything out between those two locations. So when you read or you hear somebody tell you these are dangerous, pay attention to it. This is the most dangerous piece of equipment in a knife shop. Okay, heading around. This is my little drill press that I have a tapping head mounted to. Basically, when you get into folders, making things where you need, you know, small threaded holes, 256, 440, 172, 080s, I highly recommend, if you can, in any way, shape, or form, get a tapping head, do it. Before I had a tapping head, I was tapping all of my folder holes and things by hand, and I would average breaking between 2 and 3 taps for every hole I would get threaded. These little 256 taps are about 12 to 15 bucks a piece, depending on what variety, type, and where you buy them. The reason I say that is because with a tapping head, I now wear taps out versus breaking them. I don't think if you adjust the clutch on this correctly, it's almost impossible to break a tap unless you just do something dumb.